Some people show you who they really are in private. Others wait until they have an audience, because cruelty feels different when they know you can't defend yourself. My girlfriend looked me dead in the eyes in front of a room full of people and shouted, "You'll never be good enough for me." For a moment, everything inside me went silent. Not hurt, not anger, just quiet. I gave her a small, empty smile and whispered, "Maybe you're right." Then I turned around, walked out of our own apartment, got into my car, and drove away without a single glance back. Not because I didn't care, but because if I stayed, I might have broken in a way I couldn't come back from. Hours later, long after the shock and humiliation had tangled themselves into one heavy knot in my chest, my phone lit up with a message from one of her friends. "You know what she said after you left?" My fingers felt numb as I typed back, "What?" Her reply came only seconds later, but those few words didn't just hurt. They didn't just anger. They destroyed everything I thought I knew about the woman I loved, and forced me to confront the kind of truth people spend years trying to avoid. So before you judge how I reacted next, or whether I should have stayed, fought, or forgiven, stay with me. Because once you hear what her friend told me, you'll understand exactly why that moment changed my life forever. I'm 29, and up until 3 weeks ago, I was convinced my life was stable, predictable, safe. My girlfriend and I had been together for 4 years. We met at a birthday party, clicked instantly, and within half a year we were living under the same roof. She worked in marketing for a tech startup, ambitious, sharp, always chasing the next big step. I admired that about her. I genuinely believed we were building a future together. The night everything collapsed was supposed to be a celebration. Her company had closed a huge deal, and she insisted on hosting a party at our apartment. I spent the entire day preparing, cleaning, arranging the food, setting up music, doing everything I could to make the evening special for her. About 30 people showed up. Friends, coworkers, and several faces I'd never seen before. I was in the kitchen refilling a bucket of ice when her voice cut through the music like a blade. "Honestly, I don't even know why I'm still with him." I froze in place. She was standing near the balcony with 3 of her coworkers, drinks in hand, laughing. Through the doorway, I could see their amused faces as she continued. One of them tried defending me. "Come on, he seems like a good guy." She laughed, a cold, sharp laugh that didn't sound like the woman I thought I loved. Nice doesn't pay for a lifestyle. Nice doesn't get you into the rooms that matter. I need someone who matches my energy. Someone actually going places. I stood there holding the bag of ice, feeling it melt into my hands while something much deeper melted inside me. Then she spotted me. Our eyes locked for maybe 2 seconds. She didn't look embarrassed. She looked irritated, as if I was the one causing a scene. I walked over, set the ice down, and before I could say a word, she raised her voice so everyone nearby could hear. "You'll never be good enough for me." The chatter around us stopped instantly. The entire room turned to watch. My chest tightened so hard I thought I might crack open, but I refused to let her see even an inch of what I felt. I gave her a quiet, controlled smile and said, "Maybe you're right." Then I grabbed my keys, stepped outside, and left. I drove aimlessly for hours, windows down, radio off, my hands trembling on the steering wheel. Around midnight, I finally checked into a cheap hotel by the airport, turned off my phone, and lay awake staring at the ceiling until exhaustion finally dragged me under. When I woke up the next morning, I had 47 missed calls and over 100 messages. Most were from her. A few were from people who'd witnessed the disaster. I ignored every message except one, from Denise, one of her closest friends. She'd always treated me like an actual human being, not an accessory. "Hey, I know you probably don't want to talk to anyone, but there's something you need to know. Can I call you?" I replied, "Not ready to talk. Just text me." The typing bubbles came and went 3 times. Then her message came through. "You know what she said after you left?" My stomach churned. I typed, "What?" A few seconds later, she said, "Good. Now I don't have to break up with him before the trip to Monaco. Richard's going to be so much easier to deal with." I read it again and again. Richard, her boss. The guy she'd been working late nights with for months. The man she always described as just a mentor. And apparently, her travel companion. I sat on the edge of that stiff hotel bed staring at my phone like it was an explosive. Then I did something I'm not proud of, but I don't regret it either. I logged into our shared cloud account. She'd never changed the password. Inside was a folder labeled work trips. Dozens of photos. Her and Richard in Miami. Her and Richard in New York. Her and Richard in what was clearly a luxury hotel suite. Champagne on the table. His arm around her waist. Her leaning into him. The timestamps went back 9 months. For 3 straight days I stayed in that hotel, eating takeout, barely sleeping, and planning. I didn't want revenge. Not the dramatic kind. I just wanted to walk away without being financially ruined or emotionally destroyed. So I called a lawyer. The apartment was in both our names, but I'd paid 70% of the rent for 2 years. Almost all the furniture? Mine. TV? Mine. That overpriced espresso machine she begged for? Mine. The lawyer told me to document everything. So I did. Receipts. Bank statements. Credit card records. Screenshots of messages where she asked me to cover her half just this once, which became a habit. By day 4, I finally went back to the apartment. She was sitting on the couch, eyes puffy, mascara smudged. "Where have you been?" she demanded, standing up. "I've been worried sick." I set my bag down and looked at her calmly, too calmly. "Have you?" "Of course. You just walked out without saying anything." "You told 30 people I wasn't good enough for you," I said quietly. She blinked fast. "I was drunk. I didn't mean it." "Which part didn't you mean?" I asked. "The part where I don't match your energy, or the part where nice doesn't pay for a lifestyle?" Her expression changed instantly, the fake concern evaporating. "You were eavesdropping," she snapped. "You were talking about me 10 feet away." She crossed her arms. "Look, I'm sorry your feelings got hurt, but you've been coasting. I'm out there making moves, building a career, and you're just comfortable. I need more than comfortable." I nodded slowly. "Does Richard give you more than comfortable?" Her eyes widened for a single second, just long enough for me to see the truth, before she plastered on a composure. "Who told you?" She froze mid-sentence. "It's not what you think." "Denise showed me the photos," I said. "That was a lie. I wanted to see if she'd confess or deny." She denied. "Art, we're coworkers. Those trips were professional. You're being paranoid." I pulled out my phone, opened the cloud folder, and held up the photo of her and Richard in bathrobes, looking very unprofessional. She froze. Absolutely froze. Her face drained of color so fast it was like someone flipped a switch. We were clearly in the same hotel room, clearly not working late, and she knew she was caught. "Get out," I said, my voice steady in a way that surprised even me. "This is my apartment too," she shot back. I shook my head. "Actually, not really." I pulled up the lease documents and the payment history on my phone. For 2 years, I've paid 70% of everything. Rent, utilities, deposits, all of it. "So here's what's going to happen. You're going to pack a bag tonight and leave. You'll find another place to stay while we sort out how to break the lease." She stared at me like she couldn't understand English. "And if you push back on any of this," I added, "I'm sending these photos to HR. Your company has a strict no fraternization rule between supervisors and subordinates." I checked. Her mouth opened, then closed. Nothing came out. Update 2. She left that night. I later found out she went straight to Richard's place. The next morning I changed the locks. Technically it was against the lease, but I didn't care anymore. I wasn't playing fair with someone who never played fair with me. 2 days later, Denise called out of the blue. No greeting, no small talk. "You need to hear this," she said. "She's telling people you were abusive, that you controlled her money, told her who she could talk to." I felt ice crawl up my spine. "What?" "She's flipped the entire story," Denise said. "She made this long emotional post on her private Instagram about finally escaping a toxic relationship. People are eating it alive." My hands were shaking. I couldn't believe it. "I know," Denise whispered. "I was there. I saw how she treated you. But she's good at this. She's making herself the victim." I asked her to screenshot everything. Then I called my lawyer. He told me not to respond. Don't comment, don't defend myself, don't engage. Just document everything. He also warned that defamation cases are hard to win, but if she kept going, we might have a real chance. I didn't have to wait long. 3 days later, she went public with it. A long, dramatic post about surviving narcissistic abuse, about finding her voice, about rebuilding. She didn't say my name, but she didn't need to. Everyone who knew us understood exactly who she was talking about. My phone exploded with notifications. Messages like, "Are you okay? I always wondered about you too." I knew something was off. I wanted to throw every receipt I had onto the internet, every picture, every bank statement. But my lawyer's words kept ringing in my ear. Then Richard messed up. He commented on her post. Something supportive. Something about helping her heal. Someone recognized his name. Within 24 hours, HR was notified. Apparently, a few people had been suspicious but never had proof. Her public story, paired with his comment, was enough to open a full investigation. Update 3. The investigation lasted 2 weeks. While that was happening, I moved out completely, broke the lease, paid the penalty, and found a smaller place across town. At that point, peace meant more to me than money. Denise kept me in the loop. HR uncovered everything, not just the affair, but the fact that Richard had been approving inflated expense reports for her travel. They'd been stealing small amounts from the company. It wasn't huge money, but it was enough to matter. They both got fired. That same day, she tried calling me. I didn't pick up. She left a voicemail dripping with bitterness. "This is your fault. You ruined my life because you couldn't handle me being successful. I hope you're happy." I deleted it without listening twice. A week later, I got a message from a number I didn't know. "This is Richard. We need to talk." Blocked. Then about a month after everything blew up, I ran into one of her old co-workers at a coffee shop. Her expression tightened when she saw me, but she still walked over. "Hey, I wanted to apologize. I believed her without asking you anything." I shrugged. "It's fine." "It's not," she insisted. "She's doing the exact same thing to Richard now, saying he manipulated her into the affair, saying she didn't feel safe saying no because he was her boss. She's trying to blame him for everything to save herself." I wasn't shocked, just tired. "Good luck to him," I said, and I meant it. Final update. It's been 3 months now. From what I've heard, she moved back in with her parents in another state. Richard's dealing with his own disaster. His wife left him, and he's struggling to find a job in their field. I don't feel bad for either of them. As for me, I'm doing all right. Actually, better than all right. I got a small promotion. Moved into a place that actually feels like home. Started going back to the gym, taking care of myself again. And last week, I even went on a date. Nothing serious, but it reminded me what it feels like to talk to someone who doesn't make me shrink, question myself, or feel like I'm never enough. Denise and I still talk sometimes. She's apologized more times than I can count for not speaking up sooner. I told her it wasn't her responsibility, but I meant it when I said I appreciated her honesty. And sometimes I still think back to that night, standing in my own apartment, hearing the woman I loved tell someone else that I wasn't enough for her. The strange part? In a way, she was right. I wasn't enough for her. But only because her definition of enough meant sacrificing who I was, what I believed, and the life I wanted to live. I'm enough for myself now, and that's all that matters. If this story spoke to you, make sure to subscribe to Dark Infidelity Stories, where every betrayal reveals a truth, every ending brings perspective, and every voice finally gets heard. Don't forget to like, share, and turn on notifications so you never miss another story from the darker side of love and loyalty. See you in the next one.